Joy Gurudev. Today I'm going to tell you something very important. It is the most important thing for you to understand. Why do you want to become a teacher, a mentor? Because you want money, because you want fame, because you want to help people the way you have been helped, and for your spiritual growth. The true answer for this is for your own spiritual growth and for helping other people. Money is important. It will follow. So today we are going to see a story, Chinese story of a good teacher. It goes like in the olden days, whichever region you have been in, whether it is Europe, whether it is India, or whether it is in the Middle East, or whether it is China. In the olden days, the kings and the soldiers, their kids from very beginning, were either asked to see animal sacrifice or they would be asked to do the animal sacrifice with their own hands. So once they grow up, so they become brave. So in China, there was a king. He wanted his child to become brave. So from the childhood, he kept a habit for the child that you must only eat fresh meat and you must not trust anyone on that part. You must see that the animal is cut in front of you and that fresh meat is sent to the kitchen and you are having that meat. The child was brought up like this. He would, and his father would send, and they would see the animal being slaughtered. Most of the times buffalo, because this child loved the meat of the buffalo. And that meat would go to the kitchen and it would be cooked. It would be fresh meat. The person who would slaughter was the same person. Every day he would come and remove his slaughtering sword and he would cut. This kept on happening for years after years. The king and his prince would stand and watch. The slaughterman and his son would come. The son would help the slaughterman. He would learn from him. He would hand over the weapons for slaughtering, for cutting, for removing the skin and the bones. And it went on. One day, the slaughterman died. And his son started the job, doing it for the king. One day the king also died. And the prince became the king. After few years of this repeated slaughtering and watching, one day the now king, the prince, the hero of our story, asked the son of the butcher, the son of the slaughterman, who was now the slaughterman, "How often do you polish your sword?" your axe, your different weapons. The son promptly replied, Slaughterman promptly replied, never. The king was shocked. He said, you are lying. Every day you cut an animal in front of us and you never polish your sword, your axe, your knives, weapons. He said, no sir, never. He said, everyone polishes their blades. Even today, in countries like India, where the polishman comes to polish the scissors and knife that we use in the kitchen, you see a long queue of people standing to get their weapons polished. How can you not polish your blade and keep using it for years? He said, how often did your father polish it? He said, never. The king was shocked. He said, I don't believe you. He said, I'm keeping my weapons over here. I have different weapons at my workshop. I will use them for a while. And you can keep a watch. Let no one touch them. So you will be sure that no one is polishing them. The weapons were kept in the chamber of the king, and the slaughterman would come every day. The king would give him the weapons and he would cut, clean the weapons and give it back to the king. The king will keep them safe. 1 month passed by and the king saw that he's not polishing the weapons. He said, I can't believe you that you are not polishing the weapons. And the slaughterman said, you can touch the sword and see. The king touched the sword and got his hand cut. He said, how is this possible? He said, my father has taught me when we cut in such a fashion that the weapon gets polished by itself. What do you need to polish a weapon? A leather? A hard surface? Bone is a hard surface. Leather of the animal, when we take a knife and we cut off the different parts, we cut it in such a way that the parts are also being cut and the weapon is also getting polished. This is what your attitude has to be. You must train people as mentors. At the same time, you must also learn yourself. Every time when you go to take a class, first do Karman Mudra, that I'm not taking the class, Guru is taking the class. And after that, breathe in your Guru and get out. And after that, make a sankalp that the person who is going to learn the most from this class is going to be me, myself. Once you have this kind of attitude, once you have this kind of mentality, your blades will always be polished. You will be helping others by teaching them. But by teaching, you will also be learning. This is the only sign of a good guru, of a good mentor. Understand this. If you have any questions, we are there on the query group. Hari Om Tat Sat.